All right, welcome back to the OlimoLeague. It's game number 3, tied up again. We go to the ace match here in the semifinals. The winner of this fights against Salvation in the grand finals in a best of 5. Spawning here, though, in the bottom left corner of the map, playing for Axiom, it is the red Zerg player, Impact.
The top right as the blue Terran, it's Gumiho.
Now I'm going to rely on you to keep an eye on important things while I do a bit of a talk, because we haven't actually advertised the Patreon program at all today, and I feel a little bit bad. So guys, this tournament is brought to you not by some one sponsor or anything like that, but by multiple ones, and that's you guys. For those who don't know how the Patreon works, it's kind of like crowdsource funding for very specific things. Every single week people donate between $1 and as many dollars as they'd like. It helps create this awesome prize pool for this to be going on weekly. We recently reached a tier where Base Rate TV, we finally get paid for casting, guys! Woo, the dream is real! What's really nice though is the Patreon program actually that OlimoLeague has set up for this is very transparent. She's listed where every dollar goes. She breaks down the math for you guys. So if you're curious where your money goes and how it's being spent, you'll get to see every step of the way. And as I've said before, I'd love to see these guys get a higher prize pool. I'd love to see more money in the line each week for these guys to get bigger and better prizes. So, again, if you've ever considered giving $5 to Base Rate TV, consider instead giving $1 per week to the OlimoLeague instead. But, of course, if you can't afford it, don't even bother. We just thank you guys for your support. Watching is awesome, and I hope you've been enjoying this tournament. Today, we've had a couple of long, drawn-out games, admittedly so, but for the most part, we tend to get pretty epic, pretty awesome series. And, Gumiho, stop shooting this egg, man. It's not going to happen.
Okay, well I was paying attention really hard when you went on about that.
Yeah, how'd that go? how many cool gas timings did you see? Was it like watching birds?
0. I put my head on my hands and I smashed.
I know. Yeah, I was watching your camera while I was talking. I saw her go to pay attention, and what did she do? She puts her head on her desk and basically falls asleep for like the duration.
I
third CC
was listening.
Okay, hang on. This is actually kind of a big deal. 3rd CC coming out of Gumiho pretty early. I like that he's done this in base to hide it. Again, Impact is one of these players who's very scary. Who, if he sees the 3rd CC, bam, he's going to hit you with an all-in. You got to watch out for roaches and banlings and nothing fun to deal with. So, Gumiho's going to get away with this, I think. It's going to be very difficult for him to get in here and scout.
I think so as well. Impact is probably expecting Gumiho to always go up to Banshees. Yeah, just always go up to Banshees, actually. That's what he does, and that's what leads into mech so very well. So, if there's going to be a different build other than just a macro one, it's going to be the 2-base Spire again. I'm trying to abuse that, but... Oh, okay, as I say, that Impact goes for, a fast Overlord speed and a 3rd base.
I like this. He's being denied scouting really hard. I feel like this is one of those few times where Nubatized Carapace is a direct result. Like an actual reaction to what's been going on. Meanwhile, Gumiho is going for mech. I'm not shocked that this is happening on Overgrowth, but this is a harder map to lock down that 4th base on. As we just witnessed, guys, it may have been long and boring and drawn out, but the point Gumiho made was that he showed us, if I can get to battle cruisers, I'm pretty much unstoppable. Keep in mind, we've seen him beat players much better than Impact. No disregard to Impact, because man, is Impact a fantastic player. But we've seen Gumiho beat much better Zergs as well, going for that battlecruiser style. So it is a situation where he goes kind of Super Saiyan, and you can't quite keep up with him if he gets to that point. Not easily done, at least. So for Impact, I think part of his mind this game's got to be a little bit of, okay, I don't want him to get to that point. I don't want him to get to like double upgrade 3-3 battlecruisers, but he'll see both armories. He sees the earlier 3rd CC. He could still all in off this if he wants to. He's not super drone heavy, but you have to throw down like a Roach Warren and the Banley Nest pretty much like right around Meow.
If you could... No, not good with it. Hellions actually get in here, saves 1 drone at the very last second. I think what Impact is going to try and do... besides hold off against these Hellbats, is, actually, I'll bring it up after the Hellbat attack. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, he's actually going to lose these queens. Normally, Impact holds this off no problem. Impact's like the poster child for whenever I want to discuss, like, holding off Hellbat pushes. Like, he does it well with 5 queens, doesn't need a lot of units, but a little bit tentative to get in here. Queens have already started to fall, and this is not looking so great. I do like that he segmented the Lings off so they don't all come in at once and get splashed to death, but despite this sick, like, Illuminati triangle he made with the queens, he will actually, clean this up. It's getting a little bit hairy there.
Alright. even if he had killed a bunch of drones, it's always arguable to say it's not that big of a deal for a mech game, especially. We've seen people lose upwards to even 40 drones to Hellion run-bys and still be able to play out the long game and actually win. So back to the point I wanted to make before those Hellbats actually came into play, is that I think what Impact's going to try and do is, well, first of all, definitely confirm that it is in fact mech. And it is. But then go for a big Roach Hydra attack and maybe like a Roach Hydra Viper attack. You know, kind of like it's almost an all-in. You know, if they defend it super well, then you really don't have that good of a follow-up. But it does have the possibility of ending the game before Gumiho can get anywhere near, you know, more than one starport. If I'm Impact, I do that.
I just had my mind blown about something. So,
What?
I knew you for a long time, didn't know I was doing like the count thing for Sesame Street. You say you hate Super Troopers. Did you at least watch the whole thing, or?
Super Troopers?
Yeah.
I watched like 70%.
Okay, so, dude, the whole reason I say meow all the time is because of that movie. Like,
Oh.
this stupid
Yeah, I
game where
remember
they
that
pull the
part.
guy over. Like, you didn't
Yeah, I
even
remember
find that funny?
No, I didn't find a single thing in that movie funny, I swear.
Man, my entire life I've always said meow instead of now because of that scene. Like,
Oh, I
because
thought
of
you
Jim
were just a cat
Gaffigan getting
person.
pulled over. Well, I am a cat person, but I'm not a cat enthusiast.
Okay. Anyways.
Not like I am about battle cruisers.
Hey, those Russian guys in the battlefields are pretty hardcore enthusiasts, so.
Das Vidania.
Oh, he's going for drops. I haven't talked about this. He's going for drops. Okay, so no Roach Hydra, just Roach and drops. Wait, was Impact the one that like severely messed up the drops though? I am a little afraid he was.
Oh, I kind of think, yeah, Nimbus, right? Where he had unloaded
They were like,
directly
"Oh, it's
on
gonna
top
be
of
so
Hellbats.
cool." And then he
Yeah.
dropped on the army that was.
I think this will work out though, because you know he just cleared out a lot of Hellions. He knows the Hellbats aren't really here. The army count of Gumiho is ultimately going to be somewhat low because he is going mech. Like your production for mech, no matter how you open this game, is always going to be a little bit slow.
Yeah. I think it is the big difference that Impact in that game, for whatever reason, did a much later overload drop. So Gumiho, like, or whoever it was, had an army that was like 160, 180. You know, it's way different when Gumiho is 120. Dropping on the army right now might actually not be a bad idea.
I say go
But if
for
you
the
don't
production.
think you can do it,
If he just
you can go
drops
for the
on the
production too.
yeah, I think if he drops on the main, he wins this game. Look at this. It's like 30 factories of production. Oh, I was gonna go for that third though. I don't think that's the right choice.
I think either one, he might still be able to win. Either one. The army is really low. It's still dropping on a Hellbats, which is never like that great of an idea.
I like
but-
this. He actually segmented all the low ones to the back. Like that was actually really. It's a subtle thing, but it's really cool. Okay, so where's he gonna go with this? Is the big question. Looking for that army. Don't drop on top of the Hellbats. Oh boy,
What
does
else
he
he-
drop on top of the tanks?
There's not that many tanks to drop on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like you take out the tanks over here, and Thor's and Hellbats can't run back. Okay, well he's still gonna win this fight. I think either way. He's just got too many roaches. Sadly, the tanks are not in position to fight here with these Thors. So sick pickups on those
Whoa,
Thors.
did he save that one?
Yeah, and he picks up with the roaches though to come finish it. How much health? There's. Oh my god, I can't
Wait,
even see.
that didn't go well. That didn't kill any of the tanks.
No, like,
He probably just should have killed that third or forced the lift off.
well, he does there at the end, but
Don't try and be a Terran Impact. You can't do it.
no, I really think going for the main was the right, like the one the must be decision there. I mean, it's the standard rule of town. Like, if your production's compromised, you're screwed. How are you gonna fit all those Thors? Like, the second you see those Thors and Hellbats out here, like your first thought's gotta be like, wow, it's gonna take them a long time to walk up to the main. Not okay, let's drop on top of them. I don't know. It makes it a million times better player than I'll ever be. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to watch that happen. But at the end of the day, at the very least, he did force a lift off on that third. So not totally a bad attack.
You know, going into what I would predict to be a Muta, simply as there's no other tech on the field, no Inquisition Pit, no Hydra Den. It's got to be for Mutas. It doesn't have that big of a bank. He's gonna be maybe 10 when it finishes. Yeah, Gumiho goes for like a huge drop with Hellbats. Unfortunately, he might meet Mutas on the way. Might meet Mutas. It's kind of hard to say.
Well, even if he doesn't, they should be home in time, or spawned rather in time to deal with the Hellbats. So might not get too out of hand. Starting to slowly advance the tanks forward. We'll see how this goes. Lots of roaches here, though. Gladly gonna give their life away for the swarm. Prevent this third. Tanks gonna be in range of shooting this one roach underneath it, but if the command center lands, they just shoot it. Meanwhile, distracted not by the bottom left, but also by the bottom right one. Viking does land, start chipping off a couple of these drones. I like this choice to go for the Spire, actually.
Yeah, he won't be able to kill it before mutas are out, which would have been best. But...
No, but it cuts into those upgrades, which played well for Impact last game.
Drops on the natural as well. Get some drone kills there.
Yeah, I mean, he's still holding his drone count pretty strong. Oh, but these... Oh, it's in the main were never cleaned up entirely. Yikes. Double Spires coming down. What happened to those mutas, man? Clean this shit up!
Well, it was a hard decision to make. Do I try and abuse the fact that I had mutas against maybe not defended Gumiho, or do I try and, well, clean all this up?
I like this. Look, these are bait roaches. It's gonna go into the natural with this other clump. That's nice. Gonna get hit by a wood of mine. That's gonna be not so nice, but still. Waddles right on by. Meanwhile, main is still not cleaned up. Mutas, what are you doing? Get to the Hellbats! Alright, there's no burrow attack here, so I can't really be too cheeky about this, but both places trying to trade out. I like that Impact is trying to fight on two fronts. You know, you're like, don't play like a Terran, but he's actually playing pretty well like a Terran. Opens the drop, splits his opponent's attention.
Decision is on the way, so I'm kind of feeling Swarm Host after this whole muta thing has the done. After it's all done. That's what I'm looking for.
Loving the clumped up turrets again. Top of the production, no less. If he kills the barracks, that should be pretty funny. He takes away scouting. I don't know why he just lets it live. Please.
And the ability to make more factories.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually really annoying because also removes your CCs into orbitals. So you can...
don't you also need it for an engineering bay? No, you don't.
No, because you can make because you can make a planetary. Yeah, I'm drawing this knowledge from my gold based liftoffs and fast planetaries.
Anyways.
These allies gonna get a couple kills. We need to clean this up. Muta count is getting kind of crazy though this game.
I didn't mean engineering base for orbitals, if that's what you were thinking. For some reason I meant barracks for engineering base, but that's not the case either.
Okay. These spines gonna buy a little bit of time. I think the Muta count should be able to deal with this. There's like, it's not so Thor heavy as it is Viking heavy, so the Muta should be able to dive in with the quantity that he has.
Maybe it was for Ghost Academy. I know there's another building. Anyways, here comes the mutas, and there actually aren't that many Thors. 3 Thors actually not that big
to pick up those medevacs. Oh, that would have been so sick. But Impact in a bit of trouble.
Don't pump up. Don't, for the love of God, don't pump up. Don't, no.
So he's waiting for, man. Overload's getting cleaned up, gonna supply block the Impact. This really sucks. Meanwhile, roaches do get into the natural, but I think the production of Impact, or sorry, Gumiho should be able to hold this. Meanwhile, tank run by is heading towards that right side, and I've been trying to siege up, and I don't blame him. Just using their raw DPS, which is actually pretty good. But yeah, the mutas, I don't know, man. 37 mutas is scary, but he's gonna have to magic box these really well and still focus fire the Thors.
It's okay. He does split up into 3, and then it does finally spread out.
Oh man, but every base is under attack right now. And Impact is slowly starting to lose these. GG, Gumiho takes the series 2-1. He's going to go to the finals, and we'll have a TVT with Gumiho versus Salvation.
Well, that probably